We're back. We're talking about movies and TV shows. Up next on Geek Out SA. And welcome back to Geek Out SA, where it's Friday and we're having fun. I haven't said that for like weeks, so
I know,
it was
I'm
kind of
surprised
weird.
you
So
even
we've been on
remembered it.
hiatus for a while for the holidays, and then Colleen has her leg propped up there. So
I had a little bit of surgery.
A little bit of surgery.
I have parts
but
from a dead person inside of me, which my students think is really awesome and cool.
That's kind of weird.
It
yeah.
is kind of weird, but you know, sometimes you don't get to be the bionic woman. You get to be like, I guess, kind of like part zombie. I'm walking around, but I've got dead people in parts in me. I don't know. It's weird. So.
Bryant, thanks for watching us from BV3D. He just tweeted a link out and see if that gives us more people coming to watch.
Yay!
We're going to have some fun. We're going to be like I said, we're talking about movies. We're talking about a movie.
About a movie.
And then about movies that are going to come soon.
We're talking about like film and movies and TV and stuff and things.
And Netflix and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm wearing something that
I'm like, you usually get hints from our clothing.
Yeah.
That's a thing that we do if you're new to watching the show. Like, we usually wear themed clothing so that you kind of like know what we're talking about. I don't know. It's a thing. It's a shtick.
Glad we do that, or else nobody know what's going on.
He's staring at Domo-kun as a footrest.
Oh.
Yes.
That's my pillow pal right there. Right there. Just in case I need to prop it a little higher, I've got some extra coverage over here. So.
I know when people will watch that, they would say, "Oh, that's is that Colleen's Domo?" No, that's not Colleen's Domo.
No, that's Vince's Domo. All the Domo stuff belongs. Well, most of the Domo stuff belongs to Vince.
You have like one or two things.
Just
maybe.
a couple of things. So what do you want to start with? You want to start with TV, or you want to start with the movie?
Let's start with TV.
Okay.
So
we'll start with TV.
Well, the main thing that we watched, we just finished watching the Elseworlds.
Oh no, wrong Flash.
Well, Elseworlds, which was it started off with Flash on Sunday.
Flash.
And then Arrow.
Arrow.
On Tuesday, and then Wednesday was Supergirl.
Went to Supergirl.
Even though Supergirl is supposed to actually start on Sunday.
Yeah, so it was a little confusing, the order. And then this year, which was interesting, they didn't add in the DC Legends of Tomorrow, which they have been doing before.
But the really cool thing about it is they did a nod to it.
Yeah.
That that they were calling it. The Arrow was calling them, Barry was calling them, and then Supergirl was calling them.
And they made a little snide, like, crossover joke remark. So I thought that was cute, that they talked about, like, not, like, basically we're too busy to be in the crossover this year. So that was kind of cute. But again, I don't think that the CW fails us when they do these shows. Again, it was well thought out.
Mm-hmm. Which makes me wonder, are they ever going to do a crossover with Black Lightning?
I would think eventually, maybe. They'll pull it together, but I can't say for sure. I haven't seen anything that comes across that says that. So I'm not sure. I thought there were a couple of parts in this one where they were kind of reaching to try to bring in some of the secondary characters in some of the shows. What I thought was really phenomenal, and if you haven't watched it, and if you do like these shows, it's definitely something that you should watch, is they did like a Freaky Friday thing where Barry and Oliver switch. Mm-hmm. So people don't know who they are, so they think Barry is Oliver and they think Oliver is Barry. And so it was interesting to see those two actors, and I thought they played it really well. I don't know if they've watched each other's episodes or they've just worked together long enough that they know how each other is in character. But it was really deep, I thought, to see them like be themselves as their character and yet be the other person too. So it was like Oliver is Oliver, but he's also becoming Barry. Right? Did you feel?
Well, there was like a transition to where, well, we kind of need to start being like each other.
Well, but I think even inherently before they said it out loud, I saw the actors like kind of pulling in some of each other's mannerisms and some facial expressions and some of the way they stood, and they were kind of emulating one another before they even said out loud, hey, we need to try to be like the other person. So, you know, Barry needs to be a little more dark and a little more cutthroat and a little more vengeful like Oliver, and Oliver needs to be a little more light and a little more loving, a little more caring like Barry is. So I think sometimes they spell that out for the audience because they don't notice the nuances. But if you're paying attention, I thought I noticed the nuances before they had to like spell it out for everybody.
Yeah, but it was even more after.
Right.
They laid it on thick.
They laid it on pretty thick. But it was good. Like, the acting was really good. Sometimes you see things like that and they don't pull it off really well. But in this particular sense, they pulled it off really well. And then, I don't know the name of the actor who plays Cisco. But I'm always impressed with Cisco.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
His delivery is always great. His jokes are great. His geek delivery is great. If you pay attention, the t-shirts that he wears are really great and really good nods to a bunch of things. And then in this one, because reality has changed, he ends up being a bad guy. And he's kind of like a mob boss, kingpin kind of thing. Which I thought having Jimmy Olsen being one of his thugs was kind of a reach. That was one of the reaches that I thought was kind of reachy, but it was cool still. He played that pretty well. So I really like that little actor too who plays Cisco. I think he does a really good job.
So we watched that.
Loved that.
Yes,
like, it's
that was
totally
really good.
Worth
I
it.
hear there's going to be another one for 2019.
What do you think about them
I don't know what
having
it's gonna be.
Superman in this? Because he's not really in the Supergirl show. Do you think they're trying to maybe bring us another?
Know. Oh, well, the cool thing about it,
I knew you were going to bring this up. I knew you were.
Is when they come and they're like pan to Superman or pan to Clark Kent, they start playing the Smallville theme. Which was on the CW as well before. So that was really cool.
Vincent got so hyped. I wish I had been taking video of him right at that moment, because that would have been one of those videos that like people on the internet love.
They're doing it. They're actually doing it.
He freaked out and he looked at me and he was like, Smallville, because that used to be like one of his absolute favorite shows. So he was like super hyped for that. So it's interesting, I think, for us to watch, because I still think of that actor because we used to watch Teen Wolf, and he was Derek in Teen Wolf, and he was kind of a darker character, and it's interesting to see him play Clark Kent and Superman, and we've seen so many actors be Superman over the years. I don't know how much I buy him as Superman. He has the look.
I buy him as Clark, though. I do buy him as Clark.
But I'm not sure still how I feel about.
But we don't see him all that often.
Not too much, yeah.
But to see him in the black suit, that was really cool.
That was cool. And I know that they're trying not to overshadow Kara's character. So they don't, and which is great. I'm glad that they're not like putting him forward, and that they're still keeping her character, you know, in the view, and the show is still about her.
In Supergirl, the show, they've really pushed it to where she's actually more powerful than Superman.
And then they said at the end of this episode, they give him an out so that we have a reason to believe that he's not going to be available. So I don't want to ruin too much if people still haven't watched it, if they've got it on the DVR or whatever, because it just came out. Or if they're waiting for it to be on Netflix or wherever. I don't know where CW shows end up. I think you can watch CW on the internet or something, but
yeah.
I don't want to ruin too much of it, but they give him an out, but they also left his out open enough that I could see them doing like a spinoff show for him.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they're gonna go. We watched. Remember they did.
Well, they were talking to something about Argo City or something like that.
They did a short show that we watched, and it wasn't very successful. Remember, I think it only had like 3 or 4 episodes, and then it got killed. where it was
Which one?
supposed to be like on Krypton or Son of Krypton.
Oh, Krypton.
Yeah, it was just called Krypton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't really pan out very well. So.
It was good. I liked it. Oh, hey, Adam. How's it going? Thanks for watching.
I think
Appreciate it.
Smallville has been the best one so far. I liked Lois and Clark. Lois and Clark was cute. And I liked Lois and Clark, but I think Smallville is the best so far.
Lois and Clark was more campy.
Yeah, but I think it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be kind of that, like Scarecrow and Mrs. King, like that kind of thing at that time period. Those types of shows were kind of popular. So I think it was taking that type of show.
And on that show, for some reason, they never actually call him Superman. I don't know if that's a legal thing or something.
No, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Like, they kind of did it not to... Oh, that's Superman. And stuff like that. But they never actually say that. Or they'll just say, oh, your cousin.
Well, and speaking of campy, DC Legends of Tomorrow wasn't part of this crossover. I still don't know how I feel about this whole campiness. I really do love John Constantine. I liked his show, his standalone show, and he was a little more serious on his standalone show than he is on the Legends of Tomorrow. I don't know if they intentionally want the Legends of Tomorrow to be this super campy as it is, or it just kind of has evolved into that because of the personalities of the actors. But that's another one who it's, what's his name, Roth, who plays...
Brandon Roth.
Yeah, who he was a Superman, but now he plays... my brain just fried.
The Atom.
The Atom, thank you. So there's you got a lot of Superman connections going on this week, honey. You're all happy with all your Superman connections.
And I'm not wearing anything Superman today,
I know,
which is weird.
Oh, it's weird.
It's weird to me, and I feel
You do it.
weird not having that. But other than just TV, we've also been watching Netflix and Amazon Prime.
Right, because Netflix. Because that's what people do nowadays, right? Netflix.
We saw, well, of course, we finally saw the second season of Daredevil, and we're going to talk...
Isn't it the third?
The third season of Daredevil.
Yeah.
And that was really good. I really enjoyed that one. I didn't so much like that he didn't really have his suit again for the longest time, like they did in the first season.
I think I do like that, though. It's very much about his struggle to find himself. It's very much more about Matt Murdock than it is about Daredevil, I think. And it's about him finding the balance between, am I Daredevil? Am I Matt Murdock? Who am I as Matt Murdock? Who am I as Daredevil? How far do I go? How angry am I? I think I like those types of story arcs. I like those storylines. It's why I liked the Superman movie that everybody hated, because I felt like it was him trying to struggle with, who am I as a person? And I'm not really a human, but I'm not really Kryptonian because I didn't grow up there. I have these human traits because of, nature versus nurture type stuff. So I liked the story. It kept me very interested. I'm usually like on my phone or something during TV, and I could not take my eyes off of Daredevil. And
we binge watched that one too.
Yeah, we did. We had a serious problem. And then Wilson Fisk, Vincent D'Onofrio.
He's really good.
He's really, really good. There's a couple of times when I was watching him, and I Men in Black for just a minute, and I was like, oh, Edgar. He's wearing an Edgar suit,
Yeah.
So there was a couple of moments where, like, I caught myself seeing him as that other character, which I think is a pitfall sometimes for actors who have these iconic characters that you remember. But for the most part, when he's Wilson Fisk, he's Wilson Fisk, and he scares the crud out of you. Like, you would not cross him. Like, you just wouldn't. I think he's very formidable. So I really like that about Daredevil, is that it's very believable. Like, I don't want to mess with you.
What are some other things that we saw on Netflix?
What did we see on Netflix? I don't know. We watched a couple of DC animated movies, but I don't remember the names of them. We watched a Batman one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. But it's all kind of, I don't know. I was on pain meds. Ask him. 'Cause I don't know.
But other than Netflix, we've also been watching Amazon Prime. And on Amazon Prime, we finally started watching Mr. Robot. And I really like Mr. Robot. I don't know how you feel about Mr. Robot.
I do really like it. It's very cerebral, and it's some of it is hard for me because of some of the things that he struggles with. And so some of it is personally hard for me to watch and to deal with, and it gives me some anxiety and some it's a very believable show. It's an extremely believable show, and it has a twist. Don't say too much, because
I'm not going to say too much.
Like really, you can really ruin this show for somebody if you say too much.
Yeah.
Because
what I can say is the technology that they use is real technology. Like, they're going through and they're talking, oh yeah, well, I'm using KDE interface in my Linux box or whatever, and stuff
and
like
I think
that.
that's some of the times where they lose me, because because they are, which is great. They are very technical. They are very correct in what they're talking about. They talk about the Raspberry Pi thing or whatever, Strawberry Pi, or I don't know.
Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, whatever it is that you guys know, and you know. And so Vince is there like, oh yeah, and you're looking at me like,
you can do that.
Like, yeah, like I should be excited about all this techie nerd speak, and I'm like, I don't know.
And it's really techie nerd speak. Oh, Eric, thanks for watching.
Hey,
and he
Eric.
says, woohoo, pain meds.
Woo!
She's not on them anymore.
I'm not on them anymore. I'm great. I'm wonderful. I mean, I'm in pain, but I'm just not taking meds. So that's another thing. Like, if you're a techie, if you're a tech geek, that's a really good show for you too, because it does stay very true to, like, whoever wrote it either did their research or they were techie beforehand or whatever. So, and then I was afraid that with Rami, because we had just seen Bohemian Rhapsody, I thought, am I going to see Freddie Mercury every time that I watch Mr. Robot? But not at all.
No.
Not at all. He is phenomenal. He was also...
I mean, it's like, it's two completely different...
It's completely...
It seems like two completely different actors.
But he's phenomenal. This is not necessarily a geek thing unless you're a music geek, but if you haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody yet,
definitely see
that is
movie.
definitely a movie to go see. That movie breaks your heart. It's a very human nature, watching somebody go through the creative process, all the pitfalls of that. I thought it was beautifully written. It was exceptionally acted. The cinematography was great. It's one of the best movies I've seen in a really long time. I absolutely loved Bohemian Rhapsody. And then to see him in Mr. Robot, it's a completely different person. Completely different. And so believable. There's one scene, and I'm just going to spill this one scene, and it's just the absolute most disgusting. So if you don't want to hear something super disgusting, like, close your ears for just a minute. He has a problem with drugs, off and on throughout the show. And in one episode, he ends up throwing up, like, all of these drugs. And he digs back in his own vomit and gets these drugs out and retakes them.
Yes, takes them. Yeah.
And it's just... like, his mannerisms and the way he does it, you feel that for him. You feel him, like, going through this anxiety and this power play within himself, and, like, the addiction side of that, I think, is very realistic. It's very real. And there's some other parts of it that I don't want to give away too much, but he's really good. It's really, really good. So when they do the tech speak stuff, I'm not, like, super into it, and sometimes I'm, like, looking on my phone, let me play this farm game, and then
and it's so cool to see Christian Slater in another role, because he's
Slater.
Great.
He's great. He's always great. Yeah, he's very much himself in everything he plays. I think he's just one of those people that
It's Christian Slater.
It's Christian Slater. He is who he is, but when they put him as a character in a movie, he works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to explain it. You know, he just is who he is. But he works in this. Yeah, definitely. He works. And then some of the other hacker people, you'll recognize if you've seen any of the other stuff. Yeah. I recognized that one girl because we used to watch Suburbia. So
yeah,
I recognized her voice. Yeah. I always like doing that. Like when you're watching something and you're like, I know them.
Or what's his name from This Is Us?
From This Is Us, yeah. You're like, they're in something, yeah. So then it like blows your mind and you're like, I know it. That's the nice thing about having technology. Like we didn't grow up with that, so I didn't have it, you know. And I never remember actors' names.
I end up just telling you without even looking at.
Yeah, you tell me. But I have to go to IMDb and I'm like, I'm gonna go on IMDb.
Yeah, I have to prove it. I was like, it's who I said it is.
I'm like, I have to
look. I
no,
I have to see.
Hey,
Hey, Chris, he says, what's up, you guys? Hey, what's going on? We're back, and we're having fun.
And then we did a few non-geek things. Okay, I have a secret confession, a secret television confession. I made Vincent watch, and you didn't hate it, but...
Which one?
The 60 Days In. So I made Vincent watch this show where they take like real people supposedly and they put them in the prison system, and then they are like, you know, supposed to be undercover and finding out like how the drugs are getting in and the gangs and all this stuff in the prison system. I don't know. I was like propped up in the bed for a week and I didn't have anything else to do, and I think I'd watched every geeky show I could think of, every cooking show I could think of, and then I was watching that and I got really like obsessed with reality TV. Maybe there is a point in life where you can watch too much TV, and I think I'm pretty much almost there. I think I've seen.
Well, for a while, you weren't even like walking, getting out anywhere.
No, I couldn't like leave the house or anything. So you get kind of stir crazy, and you're watching all the craziness, and so yeah. So yeah, we've had a lot of time to catch up on TV and watch stuff.
But what we haven't done a lot of, because you haven't been able to go out, is watch a movie. But we got to watch a movie yesterday. We got to see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
So we were supposed to go to the Coliseum for me to graduate and get my master's degree and walk the stage. Well, so we were supposed to be there at 3 o'clock, and then it was going to start at 5, and then I heard it was going to last till 9. So my leg hurts. I'm tired. I taught for half of a day, and I thought, do I really want to go for 6 hours to get a piece of paper and to hear my name called, or do I want to go see Spider-Man? And so I was like, Spider-Man. So, so we had all gone to lunch, and I was like, hey, guys, would you be really upset if we didn't go sit through all these speeches and name calling and 6 hours of stuff and we went to Spider-Man instead? Everybody's like, oh, yeah, no, whatever you want.
Well, we would have to be there the entire time because we were going to have to take you there.
Right.
And then you were going to be the first ones to go through because
well, like a few of the doctoral candidates would go through, and then the master's candidates, and then all the bachelor's candidates. Yeah, so we would, yes. So when I suggested that we go to the movie, you should have seen Vincent's face light up. He tried not to. Bless his heart, he was trying to be like, oh, you know, it's whatever you want. It's your day. But he was like, oh, Spider-Man. Because he thought it came out last week. So he was like, man.
Because graduations are the most boring thing to sit through.
They're the worst. The absolute worst. So last week he was fussing that he wanted to go see Spider-Man. And I still was like, I was getting out, but I wasn't as up for like doing things. Because sometimes, like when I sit in the theater, I can't prop my leg. So the blood still kind of rushes down and everything. And he was like, man, I really wanted to go see Spider-Man. And I keep looking and I'm like, well, I'll just suck it up and we'll go. And I keep looking and looking, and it wasn't out last week. So then I was like, oh, it's not out till this week.
Well, some people got to see it early.
Yeah.
So,
we got to figure out how to do that and go see some of these movies early. Yeah. Go
that'd
see
be
the
fun. Be cool.
But talk about a good movie.
That was a great animation. And for what I hear,
cow, that was a great movie.
the 3D version of it is really good too.
Oh, really?
But we didn't watch it in 3D because you have a problem with 3D.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not now. I just used to. It used to make me dizzy. Back when we had the red and blue glasses.
Chris says I want to live stream graduations.
Oh, no. Mm-mm. Nobody likes that. Mm-mm.
It might be... Well, since nobody likes it, you might make a good amount of money doing it. So
maybe if you like added funny sound effects and stuff into it, maybe like or did commentary, like do like some sports talk over commentary of the.
Like if Colleen was actually walking the stage. Colleen Guzman is walking with a limp. I wonder what that's all about.
They said she was going to be benched for this graduation, but it looks like she's pulled through. Now we're gonna start doing that. No, but Spider-Man, just from what I had seen from the previews, I thought this is gonna be epic. This is gonna be super epic.
Mm-hmm.
And it was super epic. It was super. There were moments in the theater, and we took 2 of our sons with us and my mom, and there were moments in the theater where like all of us are gasping or laughing out loud or like pointing at something that we saw in there, and it was like, oh. And there's a cameo in there that like kind of breaks your heart.
Yeah.
It was good. It's so good.
Really, really good. And it's not necessarily a Spider-Man story that everybody's familiar with, which is kind of cool because it goes along the line. It includes. Well, because he's into the Spider-Verse, so you know that all the other Spider people are there.
Well, that's probably why it's interesting, because we've all seen it all before.
Right, so this was a new spin, and what was nice about it, and one of the things that I really liked about the last Thor movie, the Ragnarok, was that they added in that comedy aspect. And there's something to be said about adding comedy to these superhero movies if it's done properly. And the comedy level in this is so high. It's done really properly. The cues are all great. It's all in the right places.
Mm-hmm.
You get emotions and feels where you should get emotions and feels, and you get comedy where you should really get comedy. I don't know. I think just everything hit the mark on this film. It just hit the mark and hit the mark. And you get to see origin stories of like all these different, from the different multiverses, and I don't know. I thought it was really great. I enjoyed it.
No, it was really good. Really, really good.
I didn't even realize when the guy came around, because we always go to the draft house, and so 30 minutes before the film is over, the guy brings your ticket, you know, so that you can sign and everything and pay. And I didn't even realize an hour and a half had already gone by. It flows.
It's a 2-hour. It's like a 2-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long movie, but
you don't realize it because
you don't realize it at all.
Flows, and you're watching
it's just like boom, boom, boom. Next. Really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Really
there were a
well
couple
done.
of times where we're all like leaning forward. We're like leaning into the screen and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially cute because Miles is young,
mm-hmm.
and he's trying to deal with these powers, right? And he doesn't understand them. And so that has a very cute dynamic. And I think you understand it because you remember being like a junior high school, early high school kid and being awkward. And so you're awkward already. And now you're sticking to things, because you have these powers and you can't unstick from things, So I just thought.
You know what was also cool is the nods that they did to the other movies. Did you notice that?
Like which one? Like when he's like, I was just doing this, and I saved the city from this, and I saved. Yes. Yeah, that was really great. Yeah.
So that was really cool.
That was really cool that they made nods to the live action movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was.
I really
cool.
enjoyed that, and they showed some of the scenes, like where he's in front of the.
When he's doing with the subway train. And he's pulling with the.
Yeah. So that was cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was really good. That one is a must-see. You should definitely, it's totally worth it. I would go watch it again. It's really worth it.
Brian, thanks for watching. Sorry you have to leave, but
Thanks.
Writing Panda, oh man, you guys are finally back. Yes, we're back.
Yay!
We're having fun. We're talking about Spider-Man. But yeah, no, I really
It's
liked
totally
it.
worth it, and
Totally worth
should go
it.
check it out.
And there's an after credit scene, so watch that.
Yeah. And then, sorry, I get tired really easily nowadays with dragging the leg around. We saw another movie. It's not a new movie, but if you didn't see it in the theater and you have, like we have Spectrum, so we have HBO and it's out on HBO. We finally watched Rampage the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And there's something to be said about The Rock, because he's in every movie nowadays. It's like, and The Rock is in this, and The Rock is in that. And I thought I was going to hate Jumanji, and I didn't end up hating Jumanji. We actually liked it. It was pretty funny. And then it wasn't Jumanji. I mean, it was Jumanji, but it wasn't Jumanji. Robin Williams. But anyways, I'm not going to go into that. But Rampage, I thought again, you're trying to turn a video game into a movie. So, you're reaching, it's definitely worth like a rental. It's interesting, like they have the video game cabinet in the background of one of the scenes. So you see the Rampage video game cabinet in the background.
But they don't make like mention of it or anything.
No, they don't say anything.
No.
You have to be paying attention to catch it. One of the things I did like is when they finally get to the scene where all the monsters are like climbing on the buildings and stuff. They did a lot of nods to the video game. So if you're paying attention, you're watching and they're like punching out the windows and they're reaching in, and the way they deal with the tanks and stuff is the way they did it in the video game. So if you played the video game and you're paying attention to the movie, you'll see these little nods to the game throughout the movie. So somebody paid attention to the game enough to add that in. So I thought that was good. I'm really terrible today. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't normally do this. I'm not usually like this.
So I like that. Oh, Writing Panda asked, any updates on Game Expo? Smiley face.
I mean, it's still happening. We're still working on it. It'll be in March. We do have our guest. We're going to be putting up the information. One of the game designers, Chris Leader from Calliope Games, is going to be there showing off his games. And we're going to do the game design competition again like we usually do. And we'll have
a lot of
role-playing
games.
and miniatures gaming and board gaming and card gaming and all kinds of stuff. So we're still working on it.
And independent video game developers will be there showing off their games as well.
Yep. It takes a lot of work for us to get there, so we will get there. And then
That was a big
this took a
monkey
big
wrench
chunk
into everything.
out of our lives, and we had to deal with this. And I had some other medical problems, so Vincent's kind of been taking care of me, and he's been kind of wrapped up in taking care of all my medical problems. So, but now we're on the other side, so we
made it over that hump.
We made it over that hump, and so we're getting that done, and so we're back on track and trying to get
March
Game
15th
Expo.
through 17th. So we're going to be there during St. Patrick's Day. So
we're green.
We're green. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Or I will pinch you, because my name is Colleen. Hello. It's kind of Irish. It's a thing. I pinch people. I have a problem. You can wear orange, actually, too.
Sounds great, but everybody wants to know, is the best co-host Omar show up? He's my favorite.
I think that the panda got asked if he wanted to come back and be on the show as a guest, and we haven't seen him yet. So where's he at? I don't know, because he was a pretty good co-host.
Yeah.
He had things to say, and
there's still an open invitation to that.
He should come back because Game of Thrones is supposed to be coming back, so we need to talk, about nasty incest, and we need the panda to come and be really upset about all of that. So, if Omar wants to come, there's a seat right here.
You might have to put up with Colleen's leg under the butt.
No, I will move my leg. I'll put something.
We'll get an ottoman for her leg
well, by
to
next
prop it
year,
up.
when we're taking guests again, I shouldn't have this. This should be coming off January 3rd, so it should be good to go. So, yeah.
We're green or she will yawn.
Yeah, or I will yawn. I'm sorry about the yawning. I can't help it.
I heard he was coming back for a visit. Yeah, well, definitely there's an open invitation for that guy.
And actually, anybody who would like to be a guest, if you do something geeky, if you do something technology-wise, I mean, any kind of geek, people don't realize, or people...
Of what you can geek out about.
You can geek out, like, one of our friends is a tabletop geek like we are, but he's also a Disney geek, and he and I are Disney geeks, so we geek out about all things Disney. I mean, I have a whole Disney room upstairs. I have a Disney problem. I am a Disney geek. You know, you can be a geek about movies, about music, about anime. If you have some kind of business here in San Antonio, if you're an artist here in San Antonio, if you do cosplay here in San Antonio, if you do it in surrounding towns and you want people in San Antonio to know about you, just hit us up. Just hit
if
us
you're
up.
an actor here,
just hit us up and let us know. Except that guy. If you do barbecue rubs and act, then you can't come on the show.
Yeah, not that guy. He can't come here ever again.
It's acting in a loose sense of the word anyway. So yeah, just hit us up. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. Just send us a message and let us know, and we'll be glad to have you on the show, and we'll interview you and talk about what you do. Vincent and I are kind of all-around geeks. I mean, we have our special definite niches, like, you know, Vince is definitely a Superman guy. He's definitely a Star Wars guy.
Big into technology.
Tech guy. I'm the book girl. I'm definitely into cartoons. I'm a big cartoon girl. All those cartoons.
And we're going to start doing other stuff because I built a, well, this is going to be my next lightsaber that I'm going to build. So that should be going in within the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
Whenever we have time, yeah.
It's ready to go, to be wired up. It's going to have sound and lights and going to be all good.
So he's going to show you how to take something that you can get from like Five Below and jazz up that hilt like that and make it into something that you would pay a lot more money for. So we'd like to do some more of that kind of stuff too, and some crafting and things like that. We really enjoy that kind of stuff too. So we have plans and things.
Stuff and things.
That's going
to be awesome.
Once everybody's well and good and we get 2018 under our belts, we're going to move on. And then we'll have Game Expo and we'll be tired from that. So once we're done with all of that, Vincent
and then Vato Rangers.
There's going to be more Vato Rangers. Well, yeah, once I can move my leg and I can act again, sort of-ish. I don't know that I would call what I did acting, but it was, you know, I tried. If you haven't watched the Vato Rangers, you really should.
You should
not. No, I'm just
really
kidding. You really should. It's really funny.
Vato Rangers. It's really funny.
It really is actually really, really funny. It's great. And then also, if you are interested in YouTube and you enjoy YouTube and you're here in the San Antonio area, Vincent also runs a YouTuber group on Wednesdays.
The San Antonio YouTube Create, and we have a meeting every Wednesday at 7 p.m. And we talk about, you know, being in the YouTube industry and making videos and editing them and analytics. And so if you're interested in any of that, or if maybe you thought you wanted to start a channel, let us know. Go Wednesday to Geekdom, and 7th floor, we'll be there and we'll help you out. Be a lot of fun. All
kinds of stuff always going on here in San Antonio, so definitely, you know, keep your eyes open for it. And Vincent and I can't make it to everything, so if you go and you see something and you want us to report on it, let us know. Or if you're part of something and you'd like us to report on it, let us know.
Yeah, because we just don't do this.
Yeah, we go out to events and stuff too. Maybe not as much.
But we actually we have like other jobs too.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. I mean, I teach.
Because she's a teacher and
I only have a stack of grading like this high.
Application developer, so we're busy all the time.
Yeah, but we love doing the show and we love bringing it to you guys on Friday. So I hope that we are talking about things that interest you. We talk about things that interest us, so we like that because we're, you know, narcissists. No.
So we talked about our shows.
Yep.
We talked about Spider-Man.
Yep.
We
Love
talked
Spider-Man.
about Netflix and
Amazon.
Prime.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, we're going to be coming back next week. We usually we used to take off for
We should take
the
a couple of
holidays.
weeks for the holidays.
We're not going to do that this year, and we're going to finish out the year and come back to you every Friday. So be watching for us. But thanks for checking us out. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen, and thanks to Stuart for producing.
Geek Out, SA. See you later.